Got it.
Welcome to Forever Talking, where we talk nothing forever. My name is the Ian Moore with my commentating partner and co-host Nicholas Walk. We're back. We're alone again today, as well as it was originally intended to be. We had no guests coming on today. Obviously, Mike and Gary. I didn't want to bring them on because they were on the last two, and then we asked Amar, but he told us to fuck off. And um, we gotta invite. We gotta get the people we told we were gonna bring on these
Ooh.
Elmadine. We said Elmadine. We were gonna bring Elmadine on. Fucking I
We
guess we
gotta
can bring Jif on, but
we
uh
gotta bring we gotta bring Riley on.
no we don't.
No, we'll just have his side of the story.
That will piss me off. Brett wanted to take Jacob's place, so we might
We'll bring
be.
let's do that. Let's bring Brett and Riley on.
Yeah, but I feel like Jacob's better at arguing, and and Brett would just give up what Jacob would never give up. That was kind of the whole main point. But no, I don't have any interest of being Riley on here at all. He if you're watching this, Rye, um, you're a fucking idiot, and I just can't stand being in the same vicinity as you for a very long period of time because, like, I mean, you texted me, over the weekend, and he likes to, Riley's getting a big boy degree, so he thinks he's really smart, so he'll text me and he'll go, catch me when you get a 3.0 GPA, you idiot. I don't have the nerve to tell him that I have a 3.0 GPA. I just kind of let, the idiot kind of, I think like I watched, like an episode of Shameless today where Frank had dementia and they said not to contradict him because it can lead to anger and confusion. I try
Yeah.
not to contradict Riley too much because it could lead to anger and confusion because he just can't.
Yeah, but I
Like,
feel like I feel like we can't trash him like this and not bring him on.
no, I can because he'll never be able to defend himself. And that makes me inside and out unbelievably happy. You may not be able to tell right now because I'm really tired, but like today, right now, as I'm trashing him on my show, I am beyond happy. In the last 28 days, Forever Talking on YouTube alone got almost 5,000 views, and in front of 5,000 people, I am trashing him, and there's nothing that he can ever do about it, and it really makes me happy. So we'll see. Maybe we will bring him on one day, but again, like if we bring him on, it's only just to trash him. It's not it's not for anything
Um,
specific. I love Riley to death, but I love him like the ugly duckling, like mother loved the ugly duckling. I feel bad for him a little bit. Um, he's
well,
like this.
I'm waiting for him to come on.
That makes one of us.
Oh,
But
well, that's half of us.
can bring Almadine. Can bring Almadine.
We'll get Jiff.
Maybe he sent me a meme earlier where it was like whenever you and your friend try to start a living being YouTubers and failed tremendously. And I
Oh,
either just sent him laughing faces or I didn't respond. I felt like that was kind of a shot.
yeah.
Is he coming at me? What is going on here?
Well, we'll
Uh
have to bring him on to ask him.
yeah, I'll bring him on and then I'll kick him immediately.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you could do that since
I can kick whoever I want whenever I want. I think I'm pretty sure.
yeah, you kicked. I think you kicked like 2 videos last week.
Yeah, I can make you the co-host if I want to.
I'm just
Yeah. We got to get some shirts going, some hoodies going. I think that would be a lot of fun. I want to get a hoodie, but I feel like it's going to get really hot pretty soon, so I'm not sure how
I low key like the hoodie in like the hot weather. It almost like blocks the heat.
it doesn't.
When it's really hot, it kind of blocks the heat.
What? So I should wear a fucking coat in the winter is what to block the heat? Is that what you're or in the summer to block the
I'm
heat?
saying it kind of blocks the sun in a weird way.
So does like a long sleeve shirt.
It,
You know, you're gonna get sweaty and hot.
I mean, you're gonna get sweaty and hot either way. I'm talking about when it's like really, really hot,
Uh,
though. All right, let's get on to
I fundamentally disagree with you.
I can tell.
I mean that is, and I can't make this up. The dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Maybe it's just a mental thing in my head, but it actually works.
Yeah, 100% is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
There is zero science behind it. All right, so we're going to be getting into the topics today on today's episode. We're going to be talking about OBJ going to the Ravens. We're going to be talking about some crossover boxing, as in Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz almost being finalized, and KSI versus Tommy Fury and talks being finalized. As well as we're going to be closing the show with UFC 287 review. What a show UFC 287 was. I know we didn't talk about it much on the last episode, but you know, we can talk about it a bunch now. But first thing first, oh yes, the riddle. We did have a riddle last episode. It was from Mike, and we did have somebody answer the riddle. We had a lot of people actually get the answer right, the riddle correctly. I DM'd somebody to message me so I can send them their money, but they didn't yet. So I guess we're just gonna wait and see. Answer this riddle correct. Just to show the riddle.
To win $5. The first person who answers this riddle correctly wins $5. We will Venmo you $5. It's the first person we see answer correctly. It's not the first person who actually answers it correctly. Must be following the social media platforms across the board. Mike, go ahead and say the riddle.
All right. So Ian's mom has 4 sons. Penny, nickel, dime. Who's the 4th son?
Answer that riddle correctly to win $5. We will send.
So a bunch of people end up getting it right, and across all the other social media platforms, you know, people answered it right as well. This person I messaged Smart Alex 778 because he made me laugh. He said Ian in parentheses, don't trust the other guys. And that one made me laugh. So I DM'd him to shoot me a message in Insta, and I'll get him his money, and he is not. So Alex, waiting for you, motherfucker. I mean, I'm trying to do my job here. So yeah, I just am waiting for him to message me, and he is not yet. I need to find a riddle. I don't have a riddle for this week.
I don't have one either.
Really? Are you sure?
And I can't think of one either.
Oh fuck. Oh, well, here's one that Jacob fucking used already. I guess I found his website.
Going down the first 3.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out later.
Hold on.
I'm holding on.
All right. I got one here. I like this one. This one's a little deep. Okay. So anyway, getting into the first subject of the day. Fucking OBJ! You fucking idiot! Why? Nick, you didn't know this until about 15 minutes ago, but Odell Beckham Jr. signed a $15 million guarantee with the potential of $18 million on a 1-year deal to the Ravens.
Do they even know who their quarterback's going to be?
Seems like they
kinda-
got their priorities all fucked up, doesn't it?
Yeah, you probably should find a quarterback for a wide receiver. But they still got Huntley. He's not bad.
So obviously this news is disappointing, to say the least,
I don't even think
because
it's so.
I think that he would have been a great second stringer, third string wide receiver at $8 million
Yeah, I was gonna say 15 is too much for him.
for the New York Jets, so Aaron Rodgers can throw him the ball. I thought that this was going to happen. The New York Jets, there was reports that they were talking to him and that deal was apparently he signed on to the Ravens the day before he was going to meet with the Jets. So as far as reports, this is just another fact and proof that nobody has any fucking idea what's going on here at all. Let's talk about the perspective of Odell Beckham Jr. If Lamar Jackson's not going to be there, why are you going to Baltimore?
Well, I'm starting to think it's for the money.
I mean, would any
Like,
other team offer him that money?
I mean, I don't know for sure, but I feel like 8, like you said, would be like what he should get, and so he's almost getting double.
I'm not paying. I don't care how good he was. I'm not paying a guy $15 million guaranteed on a double ACL tear who
Yeah,
sat out all last year. I
he's been
don't know I don't know if he can play still. I don't know. So what the fuck? Why? So the only way that I can think to myself that this is a logical thing that the Ravens have done is they did this in order to get the negotiation of Lamar Jackson back on the table. This is a 1-year deal, so I
I
mean,
mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. is that good anymore. So, is it really that big of a thing for Lamar to want to stay?
so he was good when he
He won.
played on that backstretch of the Rams. He was pretty good. He made some plays. Granted, that was only like 8 games. And then his knee exploded. I don't know. Everything that Odell Beckham has said, it kind of looks like he went there expecting, like, why would he go there? Besides the money,
That's
what does
probably
he
just
get out of this? If Lamar Jackson's not going to be there, why the fuck is he going to go is he going to go catch balls from Tyler Huntley? I don't get it. I don't understand. Out of all the teams that he could have gone to, this one does not make a lot of sense to me.
yeah.
So unless Lamar Jackson's going to be there, then great. But he's, he went to a team that's quarterback room is unknown right now, unless he knows something that we don't. He's going to be facing Joe Burrow 2 times a year.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand this move. Maybe for the Ravens, they're probably thinking, hey, we went toe to toe with the Bengals in the wild card. It was a really close game. Maybe we just needed one more weapon to win.
They really just needed a quarterback that could QB sneak from the 1-yard line.
Yeah. Yeah, not jump over and knock it out of the fucking
That
thing.
is one of the crazy plays.
But we say that there was still 8 minutes left in that game. Joe Burrow could have done a Joe Burrow thing, and
He probably would have, but that game was stagnant. No one was doing anything, so
that's just because they're divisional rivals, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't get this. I don't understand. Maybe it's because he went there because the Rodgers deal still hasn't happened yet, which I expect to happen here in the next week or two. I guarantee you that's going to be the topic of that's going to be the main subject of one of these episodes here in the next week or two is Rodgers going to the Jets. But because the draft is about to be here. But I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know. I really don't know. Like if he comes back and maybe he did like a practice for him and maybe he looks great. But it's like, he had an ACL tear on the same knee.
I mean, it could be a good fit though, because Baltimore is more known for throwing to their tight ends. So maybe it's good. He'll be like a third option, fourth option. So it actually might work out.
I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work. I mean, if you're like, I don't know, if you're the New York Jets, they had Garrett Wilson, who's great. They got that Chiefs court or wide receiver. I don't know nearly enough about. I mean, they're gonna need one more wide receiver. So, like, is this gonna be another thing where Rodgers is gonna not have a guy, like a weapon? Is this really? I mean, he'll have Brees Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
getting Odell too also sells a bunch of tickets. If you have Aaron Rodgers and Odell Beckham Jr. on the same team, you're going to sell a lot of tickets. So I don't know why New York didn't get them. Well, get him.
I mean, this has to be a money thing.
Yeah.
That is all I can think about. That this. I mean, this has to be. There's
And like you're saying, why would Odell want to play with a running quarterback instead of like a Aaron Rodgers?
Huh?
Well, like why would he want to go to Baltimore where like the quarterback's known for running instead of playing with Aaron Rodgers, who's known for throwing?
I don't know. I don't get it. It's got to be a money thing. I mean, I don't know what other deals he had on the table, but that's a ridiculous amount of money for a guy who I don't care how good he was. If fucking Devontae Adams had 2 ACL tears on the same knee and didn't play all last year, I wouldn't give him that kind of money.
Yeah.
Well, I would assign him to a 2-year deal. Let's see what you do in year 1 type of move. I don't know. I don't understand it very much. But there goes that. So if you're Odell Beckham Jr., you probably won because you got your money. And if, I can't think of any reason why he would go to Baltimore besides the fact that they offered him $15 million.
Yeah.
If you're Baltimore, the only reason I can think that you would go grab this guy is because you want to open negotiations back up with Lamar Jackson. And it doesn't seem like Lamar Jackson deals are moving very much. Maybe he comes back and plays on a franchise tag. I doubt it, but maybe. If not, Tyler Huntley is, underrated. I think he could do all right.
He's not he might blossom as like the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. Or maybe maybe they go sign a guy from the draft. I don't know. If you're Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, you're probably thinking, fuck. Now what? We needed a wide receiver 3. So what did they do? I don't know. I don't have those answers. Maybe they draft a guy. Maybe they just go get DeAndre Hopkins.
He's still a free agent?
So far, yes. Except that's going to be an expensive contract, so not sure how they're going to pull that one off. But I think that I just don't think that the Jets were going to offer him that money.
No, I don't think so either.
So that's probably why he lost him, and it sucks, but it is what it is. So anyways, let's go ahead. We'll move on to the next subject. A little bit of crossover boxing. Some nonsense going on here in this space. There are 2 fights brewing. Obviously, Creator Clash 2 is this weekend. We can watch that if we want to. It's a little bit of expensive, but whatever. Alex Wasabi's fighting on it.
Alex who?
Alex Wasabi. He was who KSI was going to fight whenever he came back. He beat Deji. This is like an event. It's like full of YouTubers. That they did it last April, and it was pretty it was pretty good. It was pretty entertaining. It was like all for charity. Dr. Mike fought on it. And then he fought Chris Avila and got pieced up, but these things happen. WWE wrestler John Morrison is fighting on this card.
Oh, dude, really? I love that guy when he used.
Yeah, he's fighting. I don't know if you ever seen the Epic Mealtime.
No.
It's like it's like a show on YouTube where these guys will make like fucking fat, like a giant fast food, fucking lasagna.
Oh, I've seen that. You showed me that.
Yeah. It's the big dude, with the beard.
It's where they go to, like
Where
10 like
he
Big
goes,
Macs,
yeah, he goes to
narrow
like,
out.
it's the guy who's driving the car who goes to like 10 different fucking places, and he goes, 15 Big Macs, please. What?
Yeah,
15 Big Macs, please.
You or Jip have showed me that one. I don't know who.
It was probably me, because I love that fucking guy. That guy's hilarious. So he's fighting John Morrison, which is funny.
He's still fat. Well, big.
He's not really as much. He's still a big dude, yeah. But I wouldn't call him, fat anymore. He's leaned out a little bit.
You're gonna have to if you're gonna box.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ben Askren, where you don't train it off.
Though there's that. He leaned out a few years ago. If I remember correctly, like 10 years ago, he was on the bigger side. That probably happens when you eat fast food. Yeah, and shit like that. But I think he leaned out. He's still a big dude though. He's like 6'6". Maybe 6'7", 6'8". He's a big guy. That's all I know. He's a really big dude. But
you say he's fighting John Morrison?
Yeah, he's fighting John Morrison.
How tall is John Morrison?
Wow.
Well, if you're saying this 6'6" or like 6'7".
John Morrison's 6 foot.
That's 6 inches.
Harley Morenstein height. Yeah, Harley's 6'6".
That's a big difference.
Yeah. I mean, this card, last I checked, there's a lot of guys that you won't know on here. But then again, there's like the commentary, like it's a bunch of YouTubers. Like the commentary team is pretty stacked with like some pretty big YouTubers. Wade is commentating it, so Wade's back, so that's always good. I mean, it gives us something to do. We could watch it if we wanted to.
When was it, Saturday?
Yeah, I think so.
We got the Battle Off game is Sunday, right?
Yeah. Like this first 3 fights, I don't really know them very much. I know this guy who fought in the last one. Jarvis Johnson, who's that? Myth. I know him. Pandar. The streamer.
Yeah, I remember watching his Fortnite videos.
Yeah, he boxed like randomly a few months ago. He boxed Churdleys.
Did he win?
He did. Myth is fucking jacked, and actually he's not bad at boxing.
That'd be interesting. I would want to watch him.
Yeah. John Morrison versus Harley from Epic Mealtime. And then the main event's iDubbbz versus Alex Wasabi. So, I mean, it's not bad. I know it's pretty expensive.
Expensive.
Yeah.
You talking
it's
like UFC expensive or like
no, like $35. Like $35 expensive.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad, no. But it's like, we watch Misfits for free, so.
I thought you paid the DAZN prescription.
Well, I paid the DAZN subscription, but meh, yeah. And it's like $9, $10. It's not that big of a deal.
At least UFC is crazy. 90.
Yeah, there was zero chance I'd be buying that. I mean, We bought it.
Oh, I know we
Uh,
bought. That
yeah,
sucks.
yeah, we buy them.
Let's crop that out.
Nope. I want them to know how shitty things are over here. So yeah, that's this Saturday. I mean, we could watch it if we weren't bored. Gives us something to do, I guess. We'd have to watch it on repeat though, because I got shit going on until
You can just text me Saturday and we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. So then as well. Two fights, like I said, are brewing. Misfits 006 is coming up in the next couple weeks here, and nobody fucking cares. This thing has not been promoted well at all. Because they're already promoting KSI's next fight. So they're like promoting KSI's card
Before this one.
and this one hasn't even happened yet. And it's happening in a few weeks. And I mean, it's just not gonna sell very well. So
Is Salt Poppy on any of them?
Saul Poppy's probably gonna be on the KSI one.
I feel like they should have him like main event one. He's a big name.
I think that he should too.
He's
But
also good. So
I don't know. I think they just are trying to make the KSI cards like are as big as humanly possible.
it makes sense, but then at the same time, like KSI alone will sell a ton.
Yeah, 100%. From my understanding, Saul Poppy is in the Philippines right now in camp getting ready. From my understanding, he will be fighting. I don't know that to be a fact, by the way. I mean, I think it would be pretty immature, not immature, but not smart to like release the card of your next event before this one's even wrapped up. I mean, nobody. This is going to be the worst selling one, because the lack of promotion, the fact that the Wade's not going to be on it. I mean, it's going to be a mess, but it's in New Orleans. It's in America too, so
I like New Orleans. I got to go down there.
I do like me some New Orleans, but I mean, yeah, but like most of these like cards sell well when they're in England, because if it's in England, it's only like 8 o'clock here, but it's 4 o'clock there, whatever it is over there. I don't know. I think it's like a 6 hour difference, so it'd be 2 o'clock or whatever. But that's the time frame. Or no, yeah, that's the I don't fucking know. But the two fights that have been brewing. Obviously KSI is fighting next month. He's fighting Joe Fournier. KSI has been in the news quite a bit recently by things that I'm sure he's not super proud of. We won't talk about it too much. That's kind of his situation. But I'm just pointing out the fact that he's got things that he has been instead of being fully invested into camp, he had the whole controversy with Wade, and then he had the whole controversy with this other thing, and hopefully all this gets past. I mean, I can only imagine the mental toll that this is taking on him, especially now that not only is he fighting Joe Fournier, they're also talking about him fighting in August and fighting Tommy Fury. Now I thought, so a few weeks ago, John Fury, like last week, maybe a week and a half ago, John Fury said that he was in talk, that time and Tommy were in talks with KSI's team. I thought it was just typical Fury bullshit. I mean, it makes sense that Tommy would want to take that fight. He has no interest in fighting, anybody like in his own space. He just wants
also paid big.
Yeah, he just wants money fights, basically. Whatever. He is fighting. Yeah, they said that Tommy's next fight will be bigger than Jake Paul. And this is, if it's in England, Tommy's England, Jake is English, or Tommy's English, KSI's English. This could be pretty big in England. Not sure. So whenever they like John Fury first said this, I didn't really pay too much attention to it because the Furies have a tendency to talk a lot of things and not do anything about it. And then KSI's coach came out and said, "Yeah, that's true. We are talking to them. We like this fight."
That's kind of risky.
It's super risky. It's
almost
a little.
Jake.
It's a little concerning. It's a little concerning because one, August is 3 months out from May. So if JJ beats Joe Fournier, which he will, hopefully, I think he probably runs through Joe Fournier. If he beats Joe Fournier, he's going to have to get right back into camp within about 4 weeks. And he's going to have to prepare. And God forbid he takes any like substantial amount of damage in the Joe Fournier fight. And what does that leave us with? I'm not really sure that this is the smartest idea for JJ, but if you want to make an impression and prove that you're better than Jake Paul, beating the guy who beat Jake Paul is certainly the way to do it. And I do think that JJ fighting Tommy Fury has more success than Jake fighting Tommy Fury. The only reason I think that is just because of JJ's fighting style, which is 100% pressure, hit really hard.
Crazy.
Yeah. Tommy is really good with the jab. But whenever, Jake put some pressure on him and used the left hook, there was success there. And that's probably what they see. They probably see, JJ can put a lot of pressure on them. They know that Tommy's not going to be able to knock him out.
Well, he might be able to.
I don't think so. I don't think Tommy can knock anybody out.
Well, with the way KSI goes, he comes in like full force. So if you can catch someone that way, it's a lot easier to knock someone out when they're from like full force like that.
That is true, but I think that JJ has a chin. And
Yeah,
I think that he has I think he's very strong necked and very strong headed. And I think that he is resistant, especially for like if Jake cracks him coming in, that's a different story. But if I don't think Tommy Fury is going to have that kind of power to make that a substantial damage. Like his big power punch is his jab, if your jab is your power punch, then
I feel like a jab's not going to stop JJ.
no.
He'll get hit by him like a few times and he'll be like, fuck it.
Now, for JJ, this is obviously would be his biggest test. Tommy's, jab is fantastic, great on a combination. But they think that JJ has mentioned this multiple times where he said that Tommy Fury has a great jab, but it also could be his biggest weakness because he can counter it.
Yeah.
So they're probably thinking Tommy throws a jab, I'm going to explode inside while his arm is still extended. I'm going to fucking hit him. And I know that JJ hits harder than Jake, and he puts on more pressure than Jake. So
he's way more explosive too.
He's 10 times more explosive as well. So it's more of styles make fights, and JJ's style fits better.
JJ's style, it gives him a chance against anyone, the way he fights.
Yes, it is more effective than Jake's style against fighting Tommy Fury. So who knows if that fight actually happens? I think that JJ probably does fight in August. I don't think that fighting Tommy Fury is probably the best idea for fighting in August, but I think that JJ wants to fight Tommy and he wants to fight Jake and he just wants to be done. I know that they were trying to do JJ versus Jake in the summer, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I mean, if JJ beats Jake or if JJ beats Tommy,
and he really doesn't even need to fight. I mean, he'll fight Jake, but
he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't really need to fight Jake. He will, and he should. But if he beats Tommy, what does that do for the pay? Like, does that hurt or does that?
I think it hurts it.
It hurts it, right?
Yeah.
If JJ loses to Tommy, then
I think it hurts.
It doesn't help it.
I think it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, there's not. I don't know. Unless like he beats Tommy and then Jake comes back and beats Tommy, then maybe that could sell it. But I mean, that's a whole lot of what ifs. I think the best course forward is that you just do Jake versus Tommy in the summer and hope that Jake can beat Tommy.
I don't think he can beat him.
I do. I think he can beat him. But you and I different opinions on that, but I do think he could beat him. I think that I don't know. I don't know how it seems very convoluted. I know that they were trying to make that KSI versus Jake fight happen in the summer just because, I think that they didn't want the value of that fight to go down anymore after Jake's loss. But at the same time, it's like it's gonna sell well either way.
Oh yeah, they've talked so much, and that each fan base is big.
But if they keep losing to each other, I think that maybe because it doesn't seem like that rematch with Tommy and Jake is gonna happen now. Even though Jake wanted the rematch, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. It seems like Jake will be fighting somebody else in the summer. And it seems like that person in talks right now is going to be Nate Diaz. Does this fight happen? No, it's not. This is going to fall through immediately. They said that they're in like finalized talks or like they're almost done talking. I don't buy that for a second. I think that they have been trying. I think that everybody and their mother has been trying to get Nate Diaz ever since he left the UFC, and nobody's been able to be successful. I know that Nate Diaz is training really hard. He looks incredible shape. He no longer has the skinny fat body. He is just fucking shredded. Will that help him win a boxing match? No. Does Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz sell a lot of pay-per-views? Yes. Does this fight make sense for Jake Paul?
No,
No. Like
he's going backwards.
Yeah, you got ridiculed and criticized for beating up retired MMA fighters, and so you wanted to go fight a real boxer. You lost a real boxer, so now you're just going to go fight UFC guys again. I mean, sure, like the pay-per-views sell, and if Jake wins, his record goes from 6-1 to 7-1, and that would help the KSI fight out. But it's like, why?
Yeah,
I mean, like if the goal is just to get Jake back in the ring, I understand it. Go fight. I don't know who you go fight, but maybe go fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who Anderson Silva beat. That sounds interesting. You go do that. I don't know. I know that Nate Diaz. So the plan was always going to be Jake versus Nate. They expected Jake to beat Tommy Fury and then go fight Nate Diaz.
yeah.
Now Jake lost to Tommy Fury, so then Nate Diaz. So then the belief was Jake was going to go back and fight Tommy Fury for a second time. Nate Diaz effectively got passed on to Logan Paul.
Yes.
Those talks were almost being done apparently, and then Nate didn't go through with it. He stopped doing it and said he wanted to fight somebody else, according to Logan. So who knows? I think it's more of that just Nate doesn't care about these guys. I mean, I don't think he gives a hot shit about Jake Paul and Logan Paul. He's obviously going to be expensive. That's going to be a very expensive fucking person to buy. And I think it's just, I really don't think he cares. I don't think he has any interest in doing this. I think that he's just perfectly fine where he's at.
I feel like he'd be fine not fighting ever again.
Yeah, they have definitely tried. Like, I think that they're probably trying to push this narrative that, oh, we'll fight you in the octagon too if you fight us in a boxing match, just so like maybe Nate could get his win back. But I don't know. I don't think Nate Diaz is very interested in doing this. Not that he's scared. He's not scared of the Paul brothers. I can tell you that much. Do I think he beats either of them in a boxing match? Zero fucking chance. There is no chance.
He might have a chance against Logan, but Jake Paul would.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he'd even have a chance against Logan because Logan's just so much bigger.
Yeah, he is big. I feel like the only person that Nate Diaz would box would be like Conor McGregor. I feel like they got a box.
I don't think that goes well for Nate Diaz either.
Yes, McGregor's pretty good at boxing, but I feel like that would be one that should happen.
Is Nate Diaz good friends with Tyron Woodley?
I have no idea. I mean, they probably respect each other, but I don't think Nate Diaz is really like good friends with anyone besides his
Go
brother.
go fight Tyron Woodley. That could be fun. Do
I'd
that.
watch it. I'd
I,
watch it.
I'd watch it too. Why not? Speaking of Tyron Woodley, what the fuck happened to that guy? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that this. I mean, maybe it happens. But I don't think that this whole Jake Paul versus I don't think Diaz is gonna fight or box. I know that he's like a really big name and people like were like I remember like on the first episode or the second or third episode, you and I were talking about how we thought KSI was gonna fight Diaz because it was just when he just left the UFC. But that was months ago. I mean, he's been out of the UFC for almost a year. Not I don't know how long, but I mean it's been a long time.
I think he fought in August.
So it's almost been a year. So I mean, it's been 8 months. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't think he wants to do it. I don't think he has any. Maybe he's getting in shape to do it, but I don't think he really wants to. I guess he could prove me wrong, but
I I know he's a big name, but I don't think the fight would be that interesting anyway.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it too, but like you said, I think the Paul brothers would kill him.
Yeah, I don't think that would be close. And it's not that we don't. I mean, I absolutely love Nate Diaz, but it's just his style is not
He's an
designed.
MMA fighter. He's
Yeah,
kicks, he wrestles.
it's just not. And he's a good boxer, but he's not. He's a good MMA boxer.
Yeah.
He's a good 1-2, 3 punch combination. But like Nate Diaz gets knocked down a lot. If he gets knocked down in boxing, that's not,
You lose a point.
you lose a point, and then the fight just becomes uncompetitive. I just don't think it really makes sense for him to do it unless you're gonna go fight somebody who's on equal terms as you, like a Ben Askren or I
Ben
mean,
is terrible.
like even Tyron Woodley would be too explosive for Nate Diaz. I think I just think
I
that
think Nick Diaz would kill him.
Tyron Woodley.
Woodley's not a boxer. Like his whole MMA, like UFC highlights are wrestling.
I know, but I think that Nate's not very explosive or fast. I think
No.
that Tyron is very explosive and very fast.
It would be an interesting fight.
I don't know. I don't think you ever see Nate Diaz in this boxing scene. I mean, like you could throw him in there with somebody, and it could be interesting. Like I would throw him in there with like I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Who knows? Throw him in there with tag team boxing. Let's see it.
Yeah, we got to see him box first.
Yeah,
before
let's do the let's do the Diaz brothers in tag team boxing. I would watch that.
Oh my god, yes.
That shit would be fantastic. Yeah, they should do that. Give me fucking the Diaz brothers versus Pineda and B Dave. Book it. Book it. That would be phenomenal. I'd love to see that, but I think Nick Diaz is I think he's still under UFC contract, isn't he?
Yeah. I think he's talking about trying to fight again.
Please don't.
Yeah. He gave up last time.
Yeah, it's over, buddy. I love you to death, but I just go do tag team boxing. I love that idea. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, like, Nate Diaz, he fought Tony Ferguson, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of outclassed Tony Ferguson, so
yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, moving on from crossover boxing, there was another speaking of UFC fighters. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Jesus.
Bless you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's all about the respect.
It absolutely is. That's why we're here. That's why we've been able to do this show. Yeah, we've been able to do this show for as long as we have. Which, by the way, I wanted to thank everybody for making episode 20 of Forever Talking. Another really big episode for us. As far as, the whole explanation is the longer actual podcast episodes don't do very well. Because we are trying to make these into smaller clips. That's why you see all the reels and the shorts and the TikToks that we post. And those do pretty well. The last episode, like the full length episode, has gotten the most views out of any episode in the past.
Probably second most viewed anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's
I think our most views got like 80, right?
Our biggest one is
Our Halloween edition one.
our Halloween edition one. It's the 4th episode.
Yeah.
Which makes Forever Talking episode 4 or episode 20 our, I think, our 4th most popular episode.
Oh wow.
Yeah, episode 1 did 70, episode 2 did 64.
All the people must have got us.
Yeah, they got bored of us. And then our Halloween special did 97. So that's our biggest episode. But episode 4 is still growing. So we'll see if it overtakes it. Fingers crossed. But the shorts are doing well, and the reels and TikToks are doing well, which is important to us. So we appreciate everybody who keeps tuning in to deal with our shit and watch us talk about shit we don't know about. Speaking of shit we don't know about, we watched UFC 287 this weekend. We didn't really talk about this card much in detail. I totally forgot that Kevin Holland was even fighting on this card. I'm not gonna lie. So we watched the 18-year-old fight that everybody was talking about. Rojas, I think his name is.
Yeah.
So Rojas is an 18-year-old UFC fighter who fought on a pay-per-view. It's a pretty big deal. And I didn't know that he was. I knew that he was on a UFC card. I didn't realize that he was on this one. So it was a pretty good surprise whenever we found out he was on this one. Rojas needs to learn how to use the 2 things attached to his shoulders. It's called his fucking arms.
Yeah.
And not just for takedowns. He can use these things to, pop that jab out there.
He's got to set up the takedown. You can't just go in there.
Yeah. So obviously, like, it's a fun thing to market. 18-year-old killer, he's an 18-year-old kid. Watch what he does there. Eventually you're gonna run into a grown man, right? Like, my dad is, like, I love my dad, right? My dad is an older gentleman. And I always talk about how I could beat the shit out of him. And Dad, I love you, but I absolutely could. I mean, I just pop that jab in your. I would blast you. But that doesn't ignore from the fact that I'm about to say is my dad, even though that he is older, like he's an older guy, and I'm younger in my prime, my dad is still far and away stronger than me.
Yeah, and also if we go back like 3 years ago, because you're like when you were 18.
Yes, and then it'd be 18, and then that difference is even greater.
He would kill you at 18.
Like, these guys, these older dudes in their 30s, in their 40s, and in their 50s, these are old fucking guys with a lifetime of muscle growth and experience. Yeah, that's a big deal. Like, that shit can't just be taught.
Yeah, you got 10 years of just fighting.
Yes, and it's
I'm not sure what the 18-year-old did before fighting. Like, I know he fights, but I don't know if he went to school or anything. But these guys had 10 years.
Yes,
focusing.
There's that term, old man strength.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a real thing. Like, that's not fake. Like,
well, it's also they got more weight. Like,
yeah,
the muscle can build better.
I think that, like Rojas, like I believe he used a lot of. Is he Brazilian? I don't know where he's from.
He was Brazilian or Mexican. I can't remember.
I don't know where he's from. But he looks like he really knew his jiu-jitsu and his wrestling. Those holds are fantastic until you just run into somebody who has more experience at them. Yeah. And then it's, and then you don't know any striking compared to the guy who knows a decent amount of striking.
Yeah, more well-rounded.
He's just, I mean, that's a hard thing to
But he'll learn.
overcome.
But like most of the guys coming into the UFC are like 25. So in 7 years, this guy's gonna be good.
Yeah, he'll learn and he'll get better, but it's going to be hard until that point. And, if you're going to keep throwing him in in the cage with, 25, 27, 30-year-old guys,
His record's gonna be bad.
is right. And then like the stigma of 18-year-old killer goes away. That's not
Basically, it already went away.
yeah. I mean, it's just not a real thing. And like, we'll see if he continues to get fights. I hope he does. But I don't know. I hope the best for. I don't. Am I? Are we pronouncing his name incorrectly?
Probably.
I hope it's Rojas. Is it Rojas?
I know it's like ROJAS.
Rosas. Rosas.
I don't know how you say it.
I don't know. I apologize. I'm
barely
sorry.
I can barely say English words.
Yeah,
correctly.
I don't know my own fucking language, so I apologize. But I mean, we hope the best for you, and if you continue to get better and improve, then absolutely, like you said, this guy's gonna be fantastic when he's 25. But that's still 7 years away. So,
yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see. Moving up the card was another fight. It was the next fight was Kevin Holland versus Santiago. I thought Kevin Holland was gonna get beat, but he didn't. He knocked this fucking guy out cold.
I forgot that fight. I forgot what happened. I must have been talking to you.
Yeah, we were talking. We didn't pay a lot of attention to it, but it was an alright fight. I love Kevin Holland. After the devastating loss to Khabib, or not Khabib, to Khamzat Chimaev, he needed this to come back. He fights at welterweight, so
yeah.
I thought Kevin Holland was a 180. I thought he was 185. I didn't know he fought at 170.
I think he fought at 170, but he like goes back and forth.
Huh.
That's why he fought Chimaev, because he was like already bigger.
Well, Kevin Holland can talk. So if Kevin Holland can continue to win, then it's good for the UFC. He's an entertaining person. Next fight was Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez. We did not watch this fight. There was a kick.
Font won, but
it was a knockout. But we were just talking. We were not paying a lot of attention.
Can't remember that one either. Yeah,
we were really just trying to get to the co-main event and the main event.
Even though we already know who was going to win in the co-main event.
Yeah. Next fight was the co-main event. Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. Your guy.
Game bred.
Your guy. Game bred Jorge Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns. Gilbert obviously coming off the back end of a war with Khamzat Chimaev, proving that man is indeed human.
He fought someone in between.
Whatever.
He won. But...
And then Jorge Masvidal coming off of Colby versus Jorge 2 in a club somewhere in Miami. So yeah, they're 1-1 right now. I think it's gonna be 2-1 Colby after the court battle. But obviously Jorge Masvidal is, I'm a Colby Covington guy, but Jorge is a legend. He's a pay-per-view draw. We like to turn it on when he watches. I don't know why, but we do like to show up whenever he fights. And Nick's a big fan of game bred Jorge Masvidal.
He used to be good.
Yeah, he's 35 and 17.
Not great, but
I wouldn't say that he's necessarily a killer.
No.
But... Well, all these guys are killers, but I wouldn't necessarily say like he's the top of his class. But he's a fighter. He had 50-something fights, So we like to watch Jorge fight. Obviously we like to joke around about the Colby thing. Obviously, about a year ago, Colby and Jorge fought, and it was not a pretty sight for Jorge Masvidal. Jorge was talking about how this entire time he went and worked on wrestling a bunch. And eventually Father Time just catches up.
Yeah, I was gonna say this fight. I know we said Gilbert was gonna win, but I was kind of surprised at how like slow Jorge's reactions were.
I
So it goes like back to what you were saying, Father Time, because
it's undefeated. Time is undefeated. You
like
can't.
like you expected Gilbert to out wrestle him,
Yeah,
but he was out striking him.
he was out striking him. He was out wrestling him. Gilbert's just a more explosive guy. That's kind of what I thought this was going to come down to. Like, let me say it this way. Gilbert Burns is extremely well-rounded, and he went toe-to-toe with Khamzat Chimaev, right?
Yeah, that's a close fight.
That was a close fight. If Khamzat Chimaev got in the ring with Jorge Masvidal, Khamzat Chimaev would rip off Jorge Masvidal's legs,
Yeah.
and he would eat them.
Well, now hold on. Jorge's got the flying knee.
I'm here to tell you.
Hey,
That is,
he'd get another tattoo on his whatever
yeah,
other.
yeah. He would have 2 tattoos. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. By the way,
Yeah, it's a weird tattoo.
it is not a great tattoo. I mean, it may have even moved it over like an inch.
Yeah, but it's like on armpit. It's like weird.
Yeah, it is right here. It should be about right here. Or you could just do it right here, or you could do it on the back of the shoulder. It's in a weird location. Jorge, I think it was time. Gilbert, you had the first round being close. I didn't. This was.
Like for the first 4 minutes, Gilbert was just trying to get the timing down. So Masvidal actually looked pretty good. He was winning that fight until the last like minute when Gilbert realized he could basically land whenever he wanted.
Yeah, he was just that right hand was just it was open whenever. I had Gilbert winning every round.
The first round was definitely closer than the last two.
Jorge's got chin.
Yeah,
I'll say that he can take a punch, but Jorge Masvidal, he did retire in Miami, and if he was going to retire anywhere, Miami's a good place to do it. So obviously, we're going to miss Jorge, and I wish the best for him in the future endeavors. Maybe he goes out and boxes Jake Paul.
that won't go well.
No,
Based on what I saw, he can't dodge a hit.
no, he would do better than Nate Diaz would.
No, he would not.
You don't think so? I think you would.
I think Nate Diaz. Well, he did kill Nate Diaz when they fought each other. They both get hit a lot.
Yeah, I think Jorge would do better than. I don't know. Do you think that Jorge? Do you see Jorge fighting outside the UFC, or do you just think he's done?
No, I think he's done.
I think he's probably done too.
Actually, I could be in trouble with the court. Just not even with Colby because he seems to do that stuff, and maybe he's got to make some money up. So we might see him fight again.
I mean, like we like to joke about the Misfits thing, but you can find. I mean, there's a place for these guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he just can't. He just doesn't have to fight the top killers.
Yeah, I'm not saying feed him to fucking JJ or Jake or Logan. Like Jorge Masvidal versus Salt Poppy. That sounds fun.
Salt Poppy is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that would go well, but
yeah,
I'm saying it would be entertaining. But we'll see what happens. Gilbert Burns says that he wants a title fight. He refuses to fight for anything that isn't a title. That's probably fair. I think
he deserves it.
Yeah, he deserves it. If Colby beats Leon, they're gonna do Colby Leon too.
You think?
Yes. I think that every champion should get an automatic rematch.
I hate that. I think it depends.
I don't hate that. I think that I like that concept because I think if you're a champion, you earn the right to have a championship advantage.
But let's say you go in there and you just get killed. Like, did you watch Amanda Nunes versus the other girl, Pena? Like the last fight?
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes killed her.
Well,
do you think there would be a need to do a third one if you know the result?
No. Yes, because Usman was beating the living shit out of Leon Edwards, and we thought Leon Edwards didn't have a chance in hell. And
Okay, I see.
he pieced up Usman. I mean, I think we're at the point now where we just have to admit that these fights can be
Well,
different. These
Well,
can
what about Izzy versus Pierre now? Well, I guess we could get to that in a minute, but
well,
that's the same thing.
Pierre beat Izzy 3 times in a row.
Well, like, do you think Pierre deserves a title shot rematch?
I'd give it to him, yeah. I
Okay.
think he deserves it.
I do
There-
too. But
I
don't
watched
think
I
Izzy
watched the
wants
press conference. Izzy doesn't want it, and Dana doesn't want it. But yeah, I would do a third one.
Okay.
Why not? I just think that the champion deserves championship. It calls back to the WWE thing, like, which isn't the same thing. But if the WWE champion loses, he gets an automatic rematch clause.
Mhm.
And I think that UFC guys deserve that. I think obviously, so moving on to the main event, you had Pereira winning, right?
Yeah.
I had Izzy winning because I thought Izzy in the last fight figured out how to beat him. It was just about I didn't think he was gonna win by knockout, but I think that I thought that he figured out how to beat Piera, and he just needed to get over that fifth round.
He did.
He did. Excuse me. Excuse me. I know this is immature.
What?
Somebody sent me a picture of a dog. So anyway, it was I think that I don't know, it's hard to explain. I just think that they deserve it. I think that
I like the idea, but I just feel like it holds the division up because in the UFC, like, there's like a window, and it's very small. If that makes sense.
I don't think it holds the division as much up as much if your fighters are willing to fight.
Yeah.
Like Leon was waiting a while after beating Diaz to get his fight with Usman. Usman and Colby need to finish their shit first, right?
Yeah.
Izzy is the gold standard of a UFC fighter. He is active, and
He deserves a rematch.
huh?
He deserved a rematch.
Well,
Like,
he deserved a rematch, yeah. But
I think if you're like a champion and you win multiple times, and but like Leon's only defended the title once.
yeah, but he beat the guy that Colby couldn't beat.
Well, that's judges wise, but so like what I'm saying is, if you're Gilbert Burns and let's say Colby wins, so he's already waiting 3 months because I think they're gonna fight in July. So, and then they fight again. That's like 6 months of waiting, plus the wait for when they fight. That's like 9 months of waiting.
Sucks. You better hope that Colby doesn't win. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I think that I just if you're the champion in UFC for 3 times out of a year, unless you're in the heavyweight division, you have to fight the best of the best. Everybody's coming for your head.
Yeah.
All the time, constantly. You don't think that after you click to the top of the mountain, you don't deserve to let's say that somehow Colby Covington knocks out Leon Edwards, which he won't because Colby Covington does not have striking power. But if Colby Covington knocks out Leon Edwards, you don't give Leon Edwards a rematch?
I think this is what I would do. So I would do the next fight be Gilbert Burns versus Colby, and then Leon Edwards would get the winner of that.
Well, you also don't think that Colby deserves the title match, the title fight.
I don't know. That one's
I
I think
do.
he should have to fight one match, like that Bilad Muhammad guy or whatever his name is. I'd have those two fight, but
Have Gilbert fight that guy.
Gilbert's already fought though.
Who? He fought fucking 11th ranked Jorge Masvidal.
He fought someone else. I don't even know who. And then
Exactly. You don't even know who.
He's fought 3 times though since Colby's last fight.
Nobody fucking knew who Gilbert Burns was until he fought Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah. Well,
agree or disagree?
Us casuals did not.
Exactly. People are pissed off that Muhammad Mokaev didn't get his title fight against Leon Edwards. Even though if you asked me to name a fucking fight that Muhammad has fought in, I wouldn't be able to tell you. So, and we're casual, so fair enough. I don't think Gilbert Burns beating 11th ranked fighter Jorge Masvidal proves that he should get a title fight. Do I think that he could be a #1 contender? Absolutely, but I think that he should fight the other guy who could potentially be a #1 contender.
I feel like you could say the same thing though for Colby.
I disagree because until Leon Edwards, no one else has been able to take Leon or Kamaru Usman, who is invincible, up to the point that Colby Covington did. Colby Covington did that coming off the fact that he broke his jaw and hadn't fought in forever.
Yeah.
Leon Edwards gets, he sat out for 2 years.
Yeah.
I think that you have a ranking system. Use the fucking ranking system.
I'm not disagreeing that Colby should get the next one, but I just think there should not be an immediate rematch for Leon Edwards if he loses.
Maybe it depends. I mean, maybe it depends. I can understand where you're coming at. Maybe it depends. But I don't know. I'm a firm believer in the immediate rematches. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you give throw Gilbert Burns a bone, give him a money fight, have him fight Usman. See what happens.
They've already fought.
How'd it go?
I'm pretty sure Usman's 2-0 against him.
Yeah, so he wants to go fight the guys who are as good as or better. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Go fight Muhammad. Whoever wins that.
I just don't like the idea of sitting out, if that makes sense.
I understand.
I don't think you should reward people for sitting out. But then again, Colby did get injured outside.
He did. He was jumped. He was jumped, Nick.
Yeah.
He was jumped. I'm like,
so
Colby Covington destroyed Jorge Masvidal worse than Gilbert Burns did.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't close. If you're about to say it was close because Jorge landed one shot, don't do that.
I was gonna say they both killed Masvidal. The fight wasn't close.
Colby Covington. No. Gilbert Burns killed Jorge Masvidal. Colby Covington killed Jorge Masvidal, burned the body with a flamethrower, and pissed on the ashes. That was an assassination. I think that Colby Covington deserves a title fight, not because he sat out a year and it's like, oh my God, it's not fair. He deserves a title fight because he's the 3rd best guy in the world.
You know what? This kind of it goes off that. I just don't get the pound for pound rankings. How Colby's not in there.
I don't understand it either. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, is he the 3rd best fighter in the world for pound? No. Should it be on the pound for pound rankings? Yes. He's the 3rd best fighter at 170.
Well, I think Dustin Poirier's in the pound for pound rankings. And how the hell is he in there? He can't wrestle.
I don't know. I don't have an answer. I think the best pound for pound fighter on the planet is Volkanovski.
Oh yeah, he easily is.
That guy is fucking cracked. But we'll talk about the main event here. Izzy versus Pereira, 4 or 2 in the UFC, depending on who you ask. Great fight. I was hoping it was going to go all 5 rounds, but what a hit, what a punch. I did not expect this to be a knockout going for Izzy's way.
Bro, when Pierre starts walking you down, that is the scariest thing out there.
That motherfucker needs to book a flight to fucking 205 and stay there.
Yeah.
That motherfucker has no right being in 185. That is ridiculous.
That's what a lot of people are saying, that he got knocked out because he cut so much weight.
Dude, apparently he missed, didn't he miss weight? According to Dana, he had to lose like 2 extra pounds within an hour to
Yeah.
get there or something like that.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. That guy is so fucking big. And that both hands are just loaded with guns. So apparently their game plan this time around in Izzy's camp was they were going to put the pressure on Piera. That didn't really work. He landed a little bit. What really worked was he just caught him with a fantastic strike while he was playing possum on the cage.
It would be interesting if they fought again, though, because Pierre would be more cautious of that, but then he also wouldn't be putting so much pressure. So
I do think that Pierre deserves a rematch. Just because Pierre has beaten Izzy already multiple times, and that it's a trilogy. Trilogies are nice, and that they're always great fights, and we can really see who's the best. Like Izzy got on the mic.
You go.
Izzy got on the mic and he did a press conference where he said it's done, it's buried. I understand it. Like I wouldn't want to fight him either, but not that Izzy's scared. He's not, but it's more of like he said it's done, it's buried. I conquered him. I beat him. It's over. But like Pierre, you know, beat you 3 times.
Yeah.
One of them was a brutal knockout. I think that Izzy deserved the rematch either way, just because how dominant he was as champion.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I did not expect the knockout to happen. I don't know what Izzy does from here as far as going in the division. I think that Pierre moves up to 205, which makes sense. He probably should.
What if Izzy goes up to 205 to get 2 belts? And he's got to fight Pierre again.
Don't do that. Don't stay away. I could see Pierre going up to 205, winning the title, and then coming back down to 185 to try and get 2 belts. But Izzy moving up is it just can't happen. I don't believe it. I don't see it happening.
Well, that division's interesting because I think Izzy's beat like every guy in there.
He has. So I don't know what you do.
Like Robert Whitaker is really good, but like Izzy's beat him twice.
Yeah, I don't know what that division looks like, which is also probably why I would do the rematch, the trilogy fight, because if Pierre wins, then, and I also am a firm believer that you stop at trilogies.
Yeah, like
if Pierre beat Izzy again in the trilogy fight, I call it quits there. But like, I think that there is room to do Connor versus Dustin 4.
I was about to ask.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, because it really ended off a leg break.
Yeah, the third, like I thought the third fight was going to go the exact same way the second fight did. But there's room to. There's still a story to be told there. I think if you're going to do a 4th fight, it has to be earned and made its way back there. Like I would have done, like if Usman would have beat Leon Edwards, I still would have done Colby Covington versus Usman 3. I just think that I mean, because at that point nobody could touch Kamaru Usman except Colby Covington.
What about maybe? I think if Usman would have won, I would have done Leon Edwards maybe against Colby Covington. Who knows?
I just think it's more of like what these guys can do against each other.
I think it's a good thing though. Leon Edwards is now the new champ because you get these new matchups.
You do get the new matchups.
Like we were just saying, Izzy, he's already beat everyone else.
Yeah, I think. I mean, either way, whoever wins in Colby versus Leon, there's like whoever wins that fight, there's multiple matchups that can be made from that.
Well, Colby loses. Do you think that's it?
No, How old is Colby?
I have no idea, but that'd be like. Well, I guess if
No.
Colby can't beat him, then I don't know who can.
I think Colby could beat Leon Edwards.
I think he can too. I think Usman's just getting old from like all the matches he had.
Yeah, I think that I don't know, like like there's so many great fights that you can make with Colby Cut, like, but then again, there's so many great fights that you can make with Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always like the reason to believe that like Colby Covington could move to different weight classes. He won't do that, but like, who knows? It's very interesting. Give me Colby Covington versus Israel Adesanya.
I remember when I was like a super casual, I thought that could be an actual close matchup. And then I realized the height difference and how good Izzy is.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah. But I mean, I think Colby does walk around naturally like 185, so he could do it. He could do it if he wanted to. He won't.
He's small. He's almost like small for his division though.
Yeah, he's a smaller guy, 100%. So I mean, if Colby was going to move divisions, it would make more sense for him to go to 185. But I don't think I don't think it's possible for him to get to that weight. I don't know. I just don't think it's possible. But Izzy versus Pereira, it was a great story. It was a great fight. I like Pierre when walking into the octagon, he did his fucking little bow and arrow thing. Izzy did the bow and arrow while he beat
No,
him.
I didn't even pick that up. I thought Izzy was
Yeah.
just to be a
Just doing
jackass.
just doing it to be a dick. No. He
Oh my god, that is so much better.
Yeah, he saw his kid. He fucking fell over to his kid because his kid mocked Izzy whenever Izzy lost.
I've seen that video.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's a great story and I love it. It's just like, what do you do though with Israel Adesanya at this point? I don't know. I don't have that answer. I think that the UFC are quickly running out of guys.
Yeah.
Like even Volkanovski, like I couldn't tell you one other person in that division besides Volkanovski.
Are you talking about like his normal division?
Yes.
It's got Max Holloway. You know him, right?
Yeah.
And like Brian Ortega. We watched that matchup where he somehow didn't choke out.
Oh, I do love Brian Ortega.
Those are really like the only three we would know.
But like 155 is so dead that they had to do fucking Volk versus Islam just to make it seem important. Like Oliveira's in 155.
Gaethje,
Poirier, but those guys are getting old.
And they also don't know how to wrestle.
And Oliveira has already proved himself to be someone who is good until he faces somebody who's just, I don't know. Like if you think of it, like Oliveira, it took him 11 years or something like that to win that belt.
Yeah.
And then he missed weight. So I don't know. I mean, like you have to hope that Patty Pimblett gets better. You have to hope you have to keep putting Bo Nickel in the octagon.
Who's that one guy? We just watched him fight.
Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Yeah.
I love me some Shavkat Rakhmonov.
He gets hit a lot, but he's also he's got that.
He's got that fucking dog in him. That
He's kind of like KSI where he just fucking goes in there.
Shavkat, suck my cock. Love him. That guy's a fucking dog.
You got Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel. Jesus. So I don't know. We'll see. The UFC continues to get exciting, but at the same time we need to figure out like they need to book more matchups. And like they kind of do this thing where they book like the next 3 big pay-per-views in advance.
Yeah.
They need to come out with the next 3 pay-per-views. And it's gonna be Colby versus Leon. It's gonna be Stipe versus Jones. And
I mean, we need to get Francis back.
That's never gonna happen.
I think it might. I know there's like Dana White said he would never take him back. But
when Dana White, it's more when Dana White says it, I kind of believe it. Because Dana White's kind of an egomaniac.
He is, but like, just imagine how much money he'd make from John Jones versus Francis.
Unbelievable.
Like no one's like signing Francis Ngannou because he's asking too much.
Apparently, I saw that. I saw that too. Apparently, like Bare Knuckle FC asked for him, and he was like, "Yeah." And then they were like, "We can't afford that."
Yeah, like I know the UFC offered him a lot of money, and no one can offer him more than what the UFC did, probably.
True. I think that was maybe his underestimation.
Hey, you know what they got to do? They got to get Vince McMahon. Maybe he can talk to him.
They could book Roman Reigns versus John Jones. Fuck. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. Does that sound good for you, cutie patootie?
Yeah, I'm ready for this riddle.
This riddle. All right, here we go. Answer this riddle correctly in order to win $5. We will send $5 to the first person we see answer this riddle correctly, not the first person who actually answers it. You must be following the social media platform you see this riddle on. Stronger than iron, crueler than death, sweeter than springtime, it lives beyond breath. Answer that riddle in order for a chance to win $5. Must be following the page. Comment it down below. Boom. What do you think the riddle is, Nick?
That one is the most confusing one yet.
Stronger than iron, crueler than death, sweeter than springtime, it lives beyond breath. What's the answer?
I have no idea.
All right. We'll answer it next time. Thank you for watching Forever Talking, everybody. Talk nothing forever. My name is the Ian Moore, my commentating partner, co-host Nicholas. Thank you for incredible month of Forever Talking as it continues to grow. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys for episode 21, where we have yet to figure out what we're talking about, but I'm sure we'll figure out something. Peace, love, everybody. Have a good one. See you on the next episode.
More like Ian.
Adios.
Bitch, I've been feeling so godlike. Starting me and take all the spotlight. Extra I did cause I own that shit. You think otherwise, you were not right. Bitch, I've been feeling so godlike. Starting me and take all the spotlight. At the top now when I run this shit. Remember when you said that I can't write?
Yo, yeah, I've been feeling so godlike. Flow cold like I wrote it on a Klondike.